Hello, book lovers and English learners. Welcome to Leaders Book Club podcast, your weekly dose of reading in English. I'm Lydia Bureau. I'm an English teacher in France and also the founder of Leaders Book Club, a book club for learners of English and non-native English speakers who want to maintain their good level in English or their fluency in English. Um, and in this book club, I host live readings and live discussion workshops on adaptations of classics of literature and contemporary novels in their original text. I also tend to prioritize books that are written by women. Every month or every 2 months, we read and explore a different book for all levels of English. Um, and in March and April 2025, with the members of the book club, we had decided to read this book. It starts with us by Colleen Hoover. And this book was published in 2022. And for this book, you need a strong B2 or upper intermediate or C1 advanced level in English, because we're reading the book in its original text. It's American English, so you need to feel quite confident in your English. So we've decided to read this book because our last read was It Ends With Us in January and February 2025. And this book is the sequel of this book. So it just made sense to read the follow-up of the story and reunite or meet again those characters and follow a little bit and know more a little bit about these characters. So yeah, that's why we've decided to read this book, and we enjoyed so much to read the first one that we needed more. And let's say similarly to the readers in 2016 or 2020 when they discovered the other book, we just couldn't stop after It Ends With Us. So if you don't know anything about these two books or Colleen Hoover, then I invite you to listen to the podcast episode 30, which is an introduction of Colleen Hoover and her work, all the books that she wrote, and know a little bit about the context or background and where the story comes from. So you can find this episode on YouTube, on this YouTube channel, or on Spotify if you prefer this platform to listen. So today, this is it. This is our final reading session of It Starts With Us. We're going to read the last chapters, so 35, 6, and 7. This is it. This is so bittersweet, as I was saying in my previous recording, in the last reading session, sorry. It's always bittersweet when you end a book because you don't want to leave those characters, but at the same time, you're curious to know what's happening at the end for them. Although now it seems to be quite obvious, although it's always it can always be a surprise. But here it's sad also to leave those characters because you always want more, I guess. But it's also nice for them to have their happy ending in a way, or to find peace. It's not so much about happy ending, but it's more about rebuilding yourself after so much that had happened for both of them. It's just finding peace and rebuilding yourself Uh, and if it's with someone that you love, then it's just bonus, I guess. So, if you'd like to attend the next live reading with me on Zoom, so it will be next month with a different book. Anyway, you just need to subscribe to the newsletter of the book club, and this way you get the Zoom link to attend these live reading session. Because and attending those reading sessions with me will allow you to improve your reading skills and comprehension skills, because once I finish the reading of the chapters, I always take a couple minutes at the end for like a Q&A sessions where you can ask me any questions about the passages that maybe you didn't understand, or you can ask me anything about the book club. So it's a real opportunity for you to yeah, just be to see how it's like to read this book in English, or just to attend a reading session and see how it's like, especially if you're not used to reading or you are scared to read in English. So definitely come to the live reading sessions. And on the this Saturday, on the 26th of April, I will host the second live discussion workshop. We will talk about chapters 15 and 25. So these live discussion workshops are only for members of the book club. So you have to sign up and become a member of the book club to be able to attend those sessions. You can find the link in the description, or just go to leadersbookclub.com. And once you join the book club, and you attend those live reading sessions, those live discussion workshop, then you would definitely be able to improve your speaking skills, your fluency, become more confident in your speaking, and also stay motivated to keep reading the book that we are currently reading, or another book if you want to read another book. But it's really a way for you to be accountable, and hopefully get you more into reading in English or in any other language if you like that. Yeah, and it's also a fantastic way to meet other members of the book club and exchange views and ideas. So, yeah, join the book club, definitely. But if you're not sure about joining the book club yet, you can also purchase any live workshop series that we've done in the past on the workshop store of the book club. So you can find the link in the description as well. So on the workshop store page, you will see all the previous workshop that we've done, all the discussions of the books that we've read before in the book club. So you don't need to become a member for that. You just select the workshop that you're interested in, and on checkout, you'll be asked to create a login, and this login will give you a private access to the videos, and this way you can watch them at your own pace and whenever you want. So really, it will be the perfect way for you to see how it's like to be part of the book club, and how the discussion workshops are hosted, the way I run. You will be able to see the way I run the workshop sessions. Right. So that being said, now let's do a quick recap of chapters 34 and 5, the chapters that I read yesterday, in our last reading sessions. So 33 and 34. So chapter 33 is Atlas as a narrator. And here he is expecting his mother at his restaurant. He asked his mother, Sutton, to come to his restaurant to have a chat. And he had prepared a dish. He made her favorite dish, which is coconut shrimp. Shrimp are like it's seafood, and it's those orange, usually orange because they put colors on it. But they like this. There's it's seafood. And they have long moustache like that. So anyway, yeah, just type shrimp. It's seafood, coconut seafood, and he cooked that because it is her favorite dish, and he knows that because the only good memory he has with his mother is when they did this trip to Cape Cod, and which is not far from Boston. And they went to that place, and this is where he learned that his mother's favorite dish was coconut shrimp, and he just remembered that as also a good memory from his with his mother, the only good memory he has with his mother that he remembers when he was a kid. And his mother noticed that. She said that yeah, that it's my I don't remember how she said it, but it's my favorite dish, or she understands that he remembers that it's her favorite dish. So to sum up, he asked her basically to come to the rest to chat with her because he wants legal custody of sole custody of Josh. And but he doesn't want that she disappears. He doesn't want her to not be in their lives or in Josh's life, but so he wants her to be present every Tuesday when they'll have dinner. He will organize a dinner every Tuesday here at his restaurant, and he's asking her to come, even if it's to fake it. But he wants her to be there for Josh, and to show a little bit of interest in her son. If it's not for him, for at least for Josh. And his mother seems to not, for once, to not object against this idea, not to reject the idea or to not um, um, be against it. She's irritated. She doesn't like it, but somehow deep down, she perhaps understands that her son is offering her a second chance to redeem herself with her sons. He's just lending a hand, or yeah, I would say lending, or just making a step forward in her direction, and just hopes that she would take it. and with the nice dinner and the composed conversation, or the quiet behavior, or the calm behavior that Atlas is pulling out of himself, is even saying thank you to her for coming. So he's grateful for her, for the effort that she's making here. And he is grateful for that, although he doesn't have a high esteem of his mother. He's grateful for that effort, and he says that to her. And she's in a way uh, destabilized, I would say, or unsettled about his way of behaving, because this is not the way he behaved when he saw her the first time, or the few times he saw her. So yeah, and then she asks what time she needs to be there, and which means that she seems to be interested in, or she seemed to be, yeah, to be interested in coming. Or she doesn't say she will come, but she asks for the time. So who knows? So the chapter ends there, and then chapter 34, it's Lily, the narrator, and she finds a note or a letter from Atlas at her door, which is very romantic here. Very old-fashioned as well, I would say. And the fact that Atlas writes like a journal. It's not necessarily what we expect from male characters or from men in general. It's usually women who write diaries. Men would write maybe journals or reports from their discoveries, or explorers. They would keep diaries of their expeditions or of their findings. But reflecting on your feelings and your life is not something that men writers did that much, unless they write a memoir of their life, their achievement as a as an as a famous writer, or not necessarily famous, but as the accomplishment of their writing words, for example. But not so much about reflecting on their daily life and their feelings. So that's something that I guess male writers should explore more, I guess. But here I like it that she found that way, that she put Atlas in that position, writing his feelings, about writing his feelings towards Lily. And here, basically, he's telling her how he fell in love with her, really fell in love with her the first time. And it's not the first time they kissed. It's actually the time where she looked after him when he was sick, and she was caring for him. And it's actually that moment where he felt love for someone. Not necessarily being in love with someone um, because they find them attractive or anything, but the fact that to feel love for something, for someone or anything. Um, and that's very heartbreaking in a way, and also, but also very, very emotional. Um, to read, to know that about him, and and yeah, and you feel so much empathy and compassion towards him in this passage. So he's recalling all the the events that happened between them when he was sick at that point, the fact that he asked him to watch a cartoon with him and they got closer, and he kissed her on the collarbone, and this is where she got her tattoo, a heart tattoo on it. So the meaningful, the deep meaning, I guess, of that, the double meaning. So I here with this tattoo thing, the heart tattoo of Lily is meaningful. Well, it means different things for both of them. Well, it means it translates their love, but also but for him, it's it's to a higher level, I would say. It's the first time where he really realized that he loved her, really. Yeah. And the first time he wanted to say to her, I love you. Instead of saying I love you, he just kissed her there. And this is the meaning for him. That means this. And Lily is more the meaning behind that tattoo was for Lily to remember him, and the fact that he always kissed her there, but she didn't know that he kissed her there instead of saying I love, because that meant for him that I love you, that he couldn't say at that point. So here we have a different perspective of that tattoo again. And then at the end of the letter, he asks Lily to move in with him. It's been 6 months. She had told him that maybe he needed to wait 6 months, and he did. Now he's asking her to move in. And of course he did. Yes. So not exactly, but in a beautiful way as well. So that's it. So here we go. Chapter 34. 35, sorry. Atlas. Aren't you rich? Brad asks. Couldn't you hire people to do this for you? I own 2 restaurants. I'm not even close to rich. And why would I hire someone when I have you guys? At least we're At least we're going downstairs, Theo says. Take notes from your son, Brad. Silver lining. We don't have much left to move. Lily didn't need a lot of her stuff since my house is already furnished, so she donated most of it to a local domestic violence shelter. Domestic violence shelter? Here, the reference. We should have her apartment completely cleared out by this afternoon. Brad is the only person I know with a truck, so he and Theo have been helping us load the things we can't fit into our cars. Emerson's crib, Lily's living room television, some of the artwork hanging on her walls. Josh lucked out. He is at Josh lucked out. He is at baseball practice, so he didn't have to help with the move. I was surprised when he came home a few months ago and told me he had signed up for tryouts. So tryouts, like you've got the word try. So they're like tests basically for him to join the team. So it's called tryouts in sports game, I guess. Um, in sports field, sorry. Uh, he made the team and has been giving it everything he has. Between Lily and I, we haven't missed a single game. I texted our mother his schedule, but so far she hasn't shown up to a game. Gonna take time. She's only shown up once to the dinners we started having every Tuesday night. I was hoping she would want to be more involved, but I'm not surprised she isn't. I doubt Josh is surprised either. We don't focus too much on what isn't working out in our lives. We focus on what is, and there is a lot to be grateful for. The two main things being that I was able to get custody of Josh, and Lily and Emerson are moving in with us. Funny how drastically life can change on a dim. The atlas the atlas of last year wouldn't know what to think of the atlas of this year. Lily is heading up the stairs right as I reach the bottom of them. She grins and gives me a kiss in passing, then runs up the rest of the steps. Theo shakes his head. Still, can't believe you made it this far with her. He hoists his box up with his knee and then presses his back against the exit door to push it open. He holds it open for me and Brad, but I pause once we're in the parking garage. There's a car that resembles Rice pulling into a parking spot a few spaces away from Brad's truck. A sense of dread washes over me. I haven't had a single interaction with him since that day he attempted to fight me at my restaurant. But that was months ago. I have no idea how much he's warmed up to the idea of me and Lily, but from the look is shooting in my direction, it doesn't seem like he's warmed up much. Someone else is with him. A man gets out of the passenger seat, and from what Lily has told me, it looks like he could be Ryer's brother-in-law. I've met Lily's mother, and I've met Alyssa and Riley, but I've never met Marshall. I walk over to Brad's truck and load up the box I'm carrying, but I'm watching Ryer's car the whole time. Theo and Brad head back inside, unaware of Ryer's presence. Marshall lifts Emerson out of the back seat and closes the door. Ryle remains in the car as Marshall walks Emerson in my direction. He holds out a hand. Hey, Atlas, right? And Marshall. I return his handshake. Yeah, good to meet you. He nods, but when Emerson sees me, Marshall has to clasp a tighter hand around her because she longs for me. So she's wanting to go to him in his arms. I step forward and take her from him. Hey, Amy, did you have fun today? Marshall watches me with her for a moment, then says, Be careful. She puked on Ryle twice today. Is she not feeling well? She's fine, but she's been with the two of us all day. Both the girls had sugar for breakfast and snack, and lunch, and second snack, and he waves a dismissive hand. Lily and Isa are used to it. Emerson reaches up and pulls the sunglasses off my head. She tries to put them on her own face, but they're crooked, so I help her adjust them until she's wearing them right. She grins at me. She grins at me and smile back at her, and I smile back at her. Marshall glances over at the car that Ryan's sitting in, and then back to me. Sorry, is not getting out. This is all still a little weird for him. Her moving in with you. Her moving in with you. When Marshall says her, he doesn't mean Lily. He's looking at Emerson. I nod in understanding because I do understand. It's fine. Can't imagine this is easy for him. Marshall ruffles Emmy's hair and then says, I'll get out of here so you guys can finish up. It was good finally meeting you. You too, I say. And I mean that. Marshall seems like someone I could be friends with if the circumstances were different. He turns to head back to Ryan's car, but he pauses and faces me again before he gets very far. Thank you, he says. Lily means a lot to my. Wait, so it's Ryle talking here. Wait, is it not? Ah, no, it's Marshall, my wife's, it's Marshall talking. Thank you. Thank you, he says. Lily means a lot to my wife, so yeah, thanks for making Lily happy. She deserves it. As soon as Marshall says that, he shakes his head and holds up his hands, taking a step back. I'll go now before it gets too awkward. He makes a beeline. He makes a beeline for Ryan's car. But I kind of wish he wouldn't have run off so fast. I would have thanked him, too. I know his support has meant a lot to Lily. Marshall shuts the passenger door and Ryan puts his car in drive and heads out. I glance at Emmy, who is now chewing on my sunglasses. You want to go you want to go say hi to Mummy? I start to walk in the direction of the building, but I pause when I see Lily standing in the doorway to the stairwell. As soon as she sees me, she spins around and wipes quickly at her eyes. I'm not sure why she's crying, but I walk a little bit slower so she can erase the tears before she greets her daughter. Sure enough, several seconds later, she spins around with a big grin and takes Emmy from me. Did you have fun with your daddy today? She asks right before she smothers Emmy with several kisses. When she looks at me, I shoot her a curious look, wondering why she was crying. She gestures to the parking lot where Raya's car was moments before. That was a big thing, she says. I mean, I know Marshall was with him, but the fact that he felt okay enough to leave her with you. She's starting to tear up again, which makes her sigh and roll her eyes at her own reaction. It feels good knowing the man in my life can at least pretend to get along for her sake. It honestly makes me feel good, too. I'm glad she was upstairs when they showed up. I know Ryan sat in the car where Marshall handed her over, but it was a step in the right direction. Maybe Ryan and I needed an exchange like that just as much as Lily did. We must prove cooperation is possible, even if it stings. I wipe at Lily's wet cheek, and then I give her a quick kiss. I love you. I put my hand on Lily's lower back and guide her toward the stairs. One more trip before you're stuck with me forever. Lily laughs. Can't wait to be stuck with you forever. And that's the end of chapter 35. Okay, 36. Lily. I'm curled up on Atlas's couch, exhausted from moving. Our couch. This is going to take some getting used to. I had Theo and Josh help me unpack the rest of Emerson's and my things because Atlas has a late night at work. I wake up early. He gets home late. But it's exciting that we'll now get more pieces of each other. even when it's in passing, and we have Sundays together. But tonight is a Friday and tomorrow is a Saturday. Atlas's busiest days, so I'm entertaining Josh and Theo until my mother returns with Emerson. The three of us have been watching Finding Nemo, but it's almost over. I honestly didn't think they would sit through it because they're at the age when preteens tend to want to separate themselves from Disney cartoons. But I'm learning that Gen Z is a different breed. The more time I spend with these two, the more I think they're unlike any generation that came before them. They're less prone to peer pressure and more supportive of individuality. I'm a little bit jealous of them. Josh stands when the credits begin to roll. Did you like it? He shrugs. It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny, considering it started with the brutal slaughter of all that caviar. He takes his empty bag of popcorn toward the kitchen, but Theo is still staring at the television. He's shaking his head slowly. I'm still stuck on Josh's description of the beginning of the movie. I don't get it, Theo says. The caviar comment? Theo looks between me and the television. No, I don't get why Atlas said that to you, but finally reaching the shore. It wasn't even a quote in the movie. He told me he said it because of Finding Nemo. I waited for someone to say it through the entire movie. I'm sure I have to get used to a lot of things now that I live with Atlas. But knowing he talks to this kid about our relationship is probably not one of the things I'll ever get used to. The confusion is in Theo's eyes flips like a light switch. Oh, because when life gets them down, they keep swimming. So Atlas was saying life will no longer. Okay. His mind is still going a mile a minute behind those eyes. He starts to shake his head as he pushes himself off the floor. I still think it's cheesy, he muses. Theo's phone buzzes right as he stands. I gotta go. My dad's here. Josh is back in the living room. You're staying over? I can't tonight. My parents are taking me to a thing in the morning. I want to go to a thing, Josh says. Theo is pulling on his shoes when he hesitates. Yeah, I don't know. Where are you going? Theo's eyes flash briefly to mine and then back to Josh. It's a parade. He says it quietly, but also like it's a warning. A parade? Josh tilts his head. Why are you being weird? What kind of parade is this? A pride parade? Theo swallows like maybe him and Josh haven't had this conversation. So I'm nervous on Theo's behalf. But I've been around Josh enough over the last several months to know that he values his friendship with Theo. Josh grabs his shoes and sits next to me on the couch and starts putting them on. What are you saying? I'm not allowed to go to a pride thing because I like girls? Theo shifts from one foot to the other. You can go. I didn't know if you knew. Josh rolls his eyes. You can tell a lot about a person by their taste in manga, Theo. I'm not a dumbass. Josh, I say. Sorry. He grabs a jacket from the closet. Can I stay over at Theo's tonight? Josh's casual attitude about this monumental moment between the two of them reminds me so much of Atlas. Considerate, Josh. But his question about leaving with Theo kind of stumps me. My eyes widen slightly. I've only lived here 4 days. Josh hasn't asked me permission for anything before, and Atlas and I haven't really laid ground rules. Yeah, sure, but let your brother know where you are. I really don't think Atlas will mind. Now that we live together, we're going to have to tackle things like this when it comes to Josh and Emerson. Who parents? Who parents? Who? Who parents who? When? How? It's kind of exciting. I like figuring out life with Atlas. My mother still hasn't returned with Emerson yet. So once Josh and Theo the house is quiet and empty for the first time since we've moved in. I've never been here alone before. I spent my alone time walking through rooms, looking in cabinets, familiarizing myself with my new house. My new house. That's fun to say. I go out back and sit. I go out back and sit. I go out back and sit in a chair on the deck, staring over the backyard. It's the perfect backyard for a garden, almost unheard of. For a pl- Almost unheard of for a place this far into the city. It's like Atlas searched for a house specifically for the perfect garden space, just in case I ever came back into his life. I know that's not at all why he chose this house, but it's fun imagining he did it for that reason. My phone rings, startling me. It's Atlas returning an earlier call with a video chat. Hi, what are you doing? He asks, pinging out a spot for my garden. Josh wanted to stay over with Theo, so I let him go. I hope that's okay. Of course it is. Did they help you at all? Yeah, we got most of it done. Atlas looks relieved by that. He runs a hand down the side of his face like he's releasing stress. It looks like it's been a busy day, but Atlas tucks it away beneath a smile. Where is Emerson? My mom is on her way back with her. He sighs like he's sad he couldn't get a glimpse of her. I'm starting to miss her, he says. The words come out soft and fast. He's a little bit scared to admit he's starting to love my daughter. But I caught his words, and I'm keeping them next to all the other sweet things he's ever said to me. I'll be home in about 3 hours. Will you be awake? If I'm not, you know what to do. Atlas gives his head a little shake, and his mouth ticks up in the corner. I love you. Be home soon. Love you too. As soon as we end our call, I hear Emerson's sweet voice, so I immediately turn around. My mother is standing in the doorway holding her. She's smiling like she caught some of that conversation. I stand up to grab Emerson from her, and she clings to me. Should be an easy night. When she gets cuddly like this, it means she's ready to fall asleep. I motion for my mother to have a seat next to me. This is cute, she says. It's her first time here. I would show her around, but Emerson is already rubbing her face into my chest, trying to fight her tiredness. I want to give her a chance to fall asleep before I stand up. What a magnificent place for a garden, my mother says. You think he chose this place on purpose, hoping you come back into his life? I shrug. I was actually wondering that myself, but I didn't want to assume. I pause, then turn and look at her after her question actually registers back into his life. I never told her Atlas was a friend from back in Maine. I just assumed she didn't remember him. I assumed she had no idea that Atlas in my life now was anyone from the past. She can see the surprise on my face, so she says, It's a unique name, Lily. I remember him. I smile, But I'm also confused as to why she never brought it up before now. I've been dating him for over 6 months, and she's been around him a handful of times. I guess I shouldn't be surprised though. My mother has always been a little hard to get to open up. Can't blame her. She spent years with a man who left her no voice, and so I'm sure it's been hard for her to learn how to use it again. Why didn't you ever say anything? I ask her. She shrugs. I figured you would bring it up to me if you wanted to know. I wanted to, but I didn't want it to feel awkward for you being around him, not after what Dad did to him. She looks away from me, her eyes scanning the backyard. She's quiet for a bit. I never told you this, but I spoke to Atlas once. Kind of. I came home from work early, and the two of you were asleep on the couch. Talk about a shock, she says, laughing. I thought you were so sweet and innocent, but there you were on my living room sofa, asleep with a random boy. I was about to yell at you, but when you woke up, you looked so scared. Not scared of me, really. Now that I think about it, he looked more scared of the possibility of losing you. Anyway, he left in a quiet hurry, so I followed him outside because I was going to threaten him and tell him never to come back. But he did the weirdest thing, Lily. What did he do? My heart is in my throat. He hugged me. So sweet. She says, her voice tinted with a drop of laughter. My jaw drops. He hugged you? You caught him with your daughter red-handed and he hugged you? She nods. He did. And it was a knowing hug too. And it was a knowing hug too. It was like he carried this genius sorrow for me. And I felt that in his hug, like he was encouraging me or comforting him, comforting me. And then he just walked away. I never even got the chance to yell at him for being in my house with you unsupervised. Maybe that was his plan. Could have been a manipulation tactic. I don't know. I shake my head. It wasn't a tactic. Consider it, Atlas. I knew you were seeing him, and I knew you were hiding him from your father rather than me. But I didn't take it personally. I never interfered because I liked that you had someone, Lily. She gestured toward the house behind us. And now look, you have him forever. That story makes me squeeze Emerson a little tighter. It makes me happy to know there is a man in your life that gives meaningful hugs like that, my mother says. It gives more than great hugs, I deadpan. My mother scoffs. Lily! She stands up, shaking her head. I'm going home now. I'm laughing to myself as she leaves. Then I use my free hand to text Atlas. I love you so much, you idiot. Text us that. Right, chapter 37 now. The last, this is it. Last chapter. Atlas. So Atlas is starting and ending the novel here. Yeah. Are you serious about to do this? Theo asks. I'm standing in front of a mirror, adjusting my tie. Theo is sitting on the couch, attempting to convince me to let him read my vows before the wedding. I'm not reading them to you. You're going to embarrass yourself, he says. I'm not. They're good. Atlas, come on. I'm trying to help you. For all I know, you'll probably end with something like, it is my wish for you to be my fish. I laugh. I don't know how he still comes up with these lines after 2 years of this. Do you practice your insults when you lie awake at night? When you lie awake at night? No, they come naturally. Someone knocks on the door and opens it a crack. 5 minutes. I give myself one more glance in the mirror before turning to Theo. Where is Josh? I need to make sure he's ready. I'm not supposed to tell you. I tilt my head. Where is he? Theo? Last time I saw him, he was in a gazebo with his tongue down some girl's throat. He's gonna make you a granddad soon. I'm his brother. I'll be an uncle, not a granddad. I look out the window, but the gazebo is empty. I don't know what a gazebo is, but it's probably like a tent kind of thing, like a small space, storage space, or I don't know. I don't know. I need to search for this one. Um, Go find him, please. Josh and I are a lot alike, but he's a little bit more confident with girls than I was at that age. He just turned 15, and so far, this is my least favorite age. I'm sure when he's old enough to drive next year, it's going to age me. It's going to age me an entire decade. I need to think about something else. I'm already nervous. Maybe Theo is right, and I should look over my vows again to make sure there is nothing I want to change or add. I pull the page out of my pocket and unfold it, and then grab a pen in case I want to make any very last minute changes. Dear Lily, I'm used to writing you letters that no one else will ever read, which may be why I had a difficult time when I first attempted to write these vows. The idea that they were going to be read out loud to you in front of other people was a little bit terrifying. But vows aren't meant to be something you make in private. The purpose of a vow is to make an intentional promise that is witnessed, whether it's whether it's witnessed by God or friends and family. It has to make you wonder, though, or at least it made me wonder what the purpose is behind the need for a public vow. I couldn't stop my mind from questioning what must have happened in the past to create the necessity for love to be witnessed. Does it mean that somewhere along the way a promise was broken? A heart was shattered? It is disappointing if you really sit and think about why vows even exist. If we trusted everyone to keep their word, vows wouldn't be necessary. People would fall in love and they'd stay in love faithfully forever, the end. But that's the issue, I guess. We're people. We're human. And humans can sometimes be disappointing. That realization let me down another path in my thought process while writing these vows. I began to wonder if humans are so often disappointing and so rarely successful at love. What can we do to ensure ours is a love that will stand the test of time? If half of all marriages end in divorce, that would mean half of every set of vows ever made have ended up broken. How do we ensure we're not one of the couples who becomes a statistic? Unfortunately, Lily, we can't. We can only hope, but we can't guarantee that the words we stand here and promise one another today won't end up in the file of a divorce lawyer a few years down the road. I apologize. I realize these vows are making marriage sound like an extremely depressing cycle that only ends happily half the time. But for someone like me, that's actually kind of exciting. Half the time. 50-50. 1 out of 2. If someone would have told me when I was a teenager that I would have 50-50 chance of living my entire life with you, I would have felt like the luckiest human on the planet. If someone would have told me that I had a 50% chance of being loved by you, I would have wondered what the hell I did to get so lucky. I'm someone, if someone would have told me that we'd get married one day and I'd get to give you your dream honeymoon in Europe and that our marriage would have a 50% chance of being successful, I would have immediately asked what size your ring finger was so that we could get started. Maybe the idea of love ending being a negative thing is simply a matter of perspective, because to me, the idea that a love came to an end means that at some point there was a love that existed. There was a time in my life before you when I was completely untouched by it. The teenage version of me wouldn't have seen potential heartbreak as a bad thing. I was jealous of anyone who had ever loved something enough to experience losing it. Before you, I had never met love at all. But then you came along and you changed that. Not only did I get the opportunity to be the first person to ever fall in love with you, but also got the experience, got to experience a shared heartbreak with you. And then, like a miracle, I was given the opportunity to fall in love with you all over again. 2 times in one life. How can one man be so lucky? All things considered, the fact that I made it here, that we made it here to our wedding day, is quite frankly more than I ever dreamed I would get out of life. One breath, one kiss, one day, 1 year, one lifetime. I'll take whatever you give me, and I vow that I will cherish every second I'm lucky enough to spend with you from this moment on, just as just as I've just as I've cherished every second I've ever spent with you before this moment. Optimistically speaking, we could live our entire lives together, happily, until we are old and frail, and it takes an entire day for me just to reach your lips to kiss you. And it takes an entire day for me to just to reach your lips, just to reach your lips, to kiss you goodnight. If that happens, I vow that I will be immensely grateful for the love that carried us through our life together. Pessimistically speaking, we could break each other's hearts again tomorrow. I know we won't, but even if we did, I vow that I will be immensely grateful for the love that led to that heartbreak until the day that I die. If it's my destiny to end up a statistic, there is no one else I'd rather become a statistic with than you. But you once told me I was a realist, so I want to end my vows realistically. In my heart, I believe we're going to leave here today and face a journey together that's full of hills, valleys, and peaks and canyons. Sometimes we're going to need to hold your hand. You're going to need me to hold your hand down the hills, and sometimes I'll need you to lead me up the mountain. But everything from this point forward, we're going to face together. It's you and me, Lily, in good times and bad, for richer or poorer, in sickness and in health, in the past and forever. You're my favorite person. Always have been, always will be. I love you. Everything that you are. Atlas. I excel, the page trembling in my hand. They're exactly who I want them. They're exactly how I want them. So I start to fold the paper when Josh walks into the room. He's joined by Darren, Brad, Theo, and Marshall. Marshall is holding open the door. You ready? It's time. I nod, more than ready. But before I stuff my vows back into my pocket, I decide to make one small change. I don't touch anything already written, but I do add a line to the very end. P.S. It is my wish for you to be my fish. I like the end. It's yeah, great. Lovely, 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 lovely. And then just the acknowledgement at the end. Um, hmm, yeah. And she starts by thanking the community in the acknowledgement. The author is actually thanking the book talk community who petitioned to have a follow-up of a Lilian Atlas story. And this is what she did here. Although still very realistic to the whole situation with Ryle and with Sutton, and very challenging events, but still their relation, well, the relationship between Lily and Atlas has just been gradually um, evolving in the positive direction towards, the the pinnacle of their love and the fact that they've moved in and now they getting married, so they have their happy ending. Um, and I really like his vows and the fact that the novel ends with with Atlas's perspective. Um, the fact that we're not I like the idea that although if even if it's just 50 years, I take that. I take those 50 years. Um, I feel grateful for what he feels grateful for what they have, although um they've lost each other for a moment, and actually the fact that they had lost each other for a couple of years uh, makes it more grateful for what they have now. Uh, and it really, I relate a lot to that, not having the chance to know something and realizing the when you finally get to the point where you're in the space where you have what you've been always um, been looking for, is being grateful. And it's not just here, it's about love, romantic love, but when I remember living away in when I was living in London, and when COVID happened, the fact of being away from my family and my parents more specifically makes you realize how much you miss things. Sometimes you need to be in that difficult position. You put yourself and well, unconsciously, you go you seek for something, and when something hard happens, you are more grateful to the people you have around you and the friends as well that you've missed. And when you have a second chance in a way to rebuild yourself, then you feel the more grateful for the opportunity that you have now and the people that you have around. So it's a great lesson. This book is also a great lesson on love and just being grateful for the people that love you dearly, unconditionally, even especially when you realize that sometimes people they annoy you, they just piss you off, but you think about them and you when you have them on the phone, you're so happy. It's the same with friends and just being grateful for the love that you have. And despite having romantic love, I think that these other forms of love are so uh, so detrimental and so essential to your well-being that and they're so disregarded, to my opinion. Um, we put so much effort in putting, or we put so we put romantic love so high up on the list of our accomplishments in their life that it shadows every other type of love. It overshadows other type of love anyway. You know what I mean? That that I find that and I find that so um restrictive and so narrow-minded. It is so narrow-minded to think that to put romantic love above everything else when you need a little bit of your family love or like your relative love and your friends love. You need that to feel fulfilled. But when you rely only on romantic love, this is so reductive and in a way, I wouldn't say poor, but it's so selective and in the end, not sufficient. This is not enough. Romantic love is not um, the end, it is not the only goal. It's part of all it's a goal, but it's not the only one. And I think we focus so much on that, finding the one, finding um, the right person, that we disregard uh, all the other type of love, and we don't pay attention to the other loves. And the more I grow old, the more I am aware of these other loves, and I focus more on these, the one that I have, that I cherish, um, and the love for your job as well, the love of the work that you're doing, the love that you have, the passion or the something that you're building. Um, and we always focus on what we don't have and we disregard what we already have. And I think that or work on what we already have, but not so much how we would like it, especially in terms of career. Um, so that's so essential to me now to be aware of that. So, yeah, that was just a little bit of reflection on love and the meaning of love, the different meaning of love. And I like this book from Matthew Hussey called Love Life as love life as a word and like a phrase, love life, romantic life, love in the sense of romantic love, but also the second meaning of that title, which is as an imperative form, as love, or as an advice, just love life, just have a love for life. And for all the other loves, in a way, as I was saying earlier, all the different other loves that you have in your life, and should be grateful for already. Just be grateful for what you have now, and in a way, stop. We have to stop seeking or going after something, an ideal love and or an idealized person, um, because we tend to just focus on that and forget all the rest and disregard the rest, which is sad, and it makes us miserable, and it makes us sad, and it makes us sad when we could just be happy differently, because happiness comes from within and love comes from within, and it's also love of ourselves, of course, but that's a tough one. Anyway, so I'm going to stop here rambling, reflections on love. So I hope you enjoyed this final live reading of It Ends With Us. It was just a thrill for me to read and a treat for me to read this book. I hope you enjoyed as well. And I hope that you will join us next month for our new read. So here it is, the revelation of their next book. So in May and June 2025, with the book club members, we've decided to read the groundbreaking novel of the groundbreaking novel Middlemarch by George Eliot. So of course we're not reading the original text because it is way too long. So let me show you the original text. This is 100 pages text, or a 100-page novel, not text. Yeah, as you can see, this is huge. This is a lot, and I'm currently reading it. Yeah, so this is my homework holiday here, but I love it. Yeah, very rich. Too much to say. I don't think we be able to talk about everything. But anyway, so we're not reading that because this would take me too many hours. So instead, we're just going to read, and it's in English. It's Old English, so 19th century English. Not as old as Jane Austen, but still, the language is and the structure of the language is rather more complicated than this novel. So we'll leave that one aside. Of course, I invite you to read the book as well if you fancy it. But we at the book club, we are going to read the Macmillan Readers adaptation of Middlemarch. This is for B2 upper intermediate level. And as you can see, it's much more condensed with this compared to this one. So if you would like to know more about George Eliot, who is this writer. So although it's a male name, she is a woman. Uh, her original name was Mary Ann Evans. Yeah. And she chose this pen name of George Eliot. Um, yeah, so if you don't know anything about George Eliot and her groundbreaking novel Middlemarch, this is obviously a classic of classics of English literature. Then join me live on Zoom on the 10th of May for a new podcast episode about George Eliot and her life work. Yeah. So I'm super, super excited to um, do this podcast and read this book with you. And also researching about her, getting to know more about her, and let you discover her as well eh, through the book club. So I can't wait to read this book. It's just exciting. So thank you so much again for watching this video, for following my channel, and commenting about the videos. Just love it. Thank you. Bye. Bye now.